Hey guys, today I want to talk about expat issues, something we've talked about every once in a while on here, and I want to kind of delve into it again. It seems like, every time things start going good, something happens and some expat steps in, and decides that he's going to start screwing with you or something like that. That's the way it is in the Philippines a lot of the times. I don't let it bother me most of the time, but sometimes it seems like, we get some of these guys over here, we already got a big enough circus over here. We don't need any more monkeys in our circus, and it seems like, keep your own monkeys over there in the United States. We don't need them over here. But it seems like United States exports a lot of monkeys over here. And so do a lot of other countries too, let's face it. I'm not going to leave those out of this too. But there's a lot of problematic expats over here that we see every once in a while. Some of them are vloggers, and there's a couple of vloggers out there. Obviously, when they were kids, they probably rode the short bus, and they were probably the kid on the back of the bus that had the helmet on his head, so we see that too. But the problem over here is that everybody over here wants peace. We come over here because we want our peace to get away from that crap, but we don't get the best and brightest over here in the Philippines, Thailand, and in many of the other countries over here, Bali, Malaysia. A lot of the expats over here, let's face it, they're not our best and brightest. We see a lot of them out there, and I'm not sure what the percentage is. It's probably like 20 to 30%. Some of them go on to be vloggers, and one of them that harasses me is a vlogger. And he probably rode the short bus when he was small, and probably had to wear the helmet and be strapped in too. It's just part of living over here in the Philippines, and it's an unfortunate piece too. And these people attack people that probably help people the most, or are more the upstanding people in the community. They're not the people that are sex pats or things like that. They attack the people that are normal. And usually these people are either narcissistic, mentally ill, sick, or what have you. And we have a lot of that over here. We have a lot of mental illness over here. We see a lot of mental illness over here. And sometimes you deal with people for 3 to 6 months, or a year, or 2 years, 3 years, before you start seeing some of that mental illness, and you start realizing, why these people are over here. Probably got driven off by their family or something and said, hey, we don't want to deal with you anymore. And they probably don't want to be around them either, so they decide to come to the Philippines. It's cheaper over here. They were in the service at one time or another. They might have carried some of that mental illness back home when they get out of the service from, maybe being, and it's kind of sad when things like that happen. But there also are these people that are narcissistic troublemakers and idiots and morons. And that's a totally different realm right there. Now, I get the part where people are PTSD, and I feel sad for those people. But, a lot of these people, they bring a lot of issues with them. I'm not talking about military PTSD. I'm talking about PTSD from families or what have you. There's a lot of people over here that are ex-military that attack other military people, former military people. They attack veterans. They constantly attack them and put them down and stuff like that. They attack their brothers, their own kind. And that's the sad part about living over here, is that a lot of expats, instead of reaching out to reach down and help the next guy up, they'll reach down and try to help the next guy up and then kick him in the nuts. That's the type of people that we deal with over here a lot as far as expats. And you can see some of them on some of the vlogs over here. And they're usually the trash vloggers out there that attack people constantly and consistently. And they lie. They put out a lot of garbage on people, try to trash them. Our channel here, and I want to put this out because it gets kind of tiring. It's one of the reasons why a lot of people just quit vlogging, is because I'm not quitting vlogging anytime soon. I plan on being around for quite a while, but I'm going to definitely slow down a lot, and I'm going to continue helping people, but when you're helping people and people are kicking you in the groin, it's not fun. And it's kind of hard to kind of ignore them sometimes when they're doing stuff like that. And some of these people have gotten in trouble. Some of them have done jail time. Some of them have attacked other vloggers that physically We've talked about that before. But they've also, some of them have done jail time. Some of them have gone after people that are upstanding people. Some people will go after even VSOs, veteran service officers that are giving their time to help other people. They'll attack them. I've seen that before. About 2 years ago, there was one particular vlogger that was going after a VSO that was working over here in the Philippines helping people. And for whatever reason, this guy hated him. He put a vlog up and then he took it down. There's people here that attack people that like myself that help people. We cater to veterans over here. A lot of veterans with the SRRV program, getting them in here, helping them for free. And it hurts when a person out there that's also a veteran attacks another veteran. I find it sick and demeaning when somebody does that, and they obviously have some pent-up anger or mental illness or something, that they feel that they have to go after people and attack people with false accusations and false bullcrap that they make up as they go. And it's obviously that these people are sick. One of the people out there, it looks like he dyes his hair with shoe polish. He obviously did ride on the short bus for sure, and he did wear a helmet, I'm sure too, But it's sick when we get attacked by these people. And we have to, listen to this crap when you get up in the morning and people call you and say, "Hey, who's this nut that's attacking you?" I mean, that's part of being a vlogger, unfortunately. But these are people that wreck it for people that come over here to retire. And I noticed that there's more of these people coming out of the woodwork. A lot of them have to do with vlogging. Some of them don't. There's fights that happen up in Angeles and fights that happen down in Dumaguete. There's fights that happen down in Davao. There's been fights that happen around in my area here. Arguments and feuding and things like that have happened over the years that I've been here. And it gets old. Because all of us come here for peace, and we don't need some idiot busting our peace. So if you guys are back in the United States or you're here still, we don't want you here. Neither does any of the other expats in this community, in the expat community here. We don't want you here. We don't need you here. And it seems like these people come here and they think that they own the place. And they try to tell people how they have to live. One guy's talking about me, that I've never traveled around the Philippines. I traveled back in the 80s around the Philippines. I don't want to travel now. I'm older, number one. Number two, I don't care to travel. Why do I have to travel? Because some guy says that I have to travel. I'm not sure where this guy feels that, he's entitled to tell other people how to live, especially with his issues. And when you see some of these people, it's like, man, where'd this monkey come from? Not my monkey, not my circus, is what I say. This guy crawled out from the freak show, I think. But I've seen this guy a few times attacking me. Other people have told me I don't watch his stuff, but some people have told me what he does and what he says. And I've actually gone on there recently and seen some of the stuff that he has on there, and it's kind of sick and scary. And this person here, other people have told me stuff about him. I've seen stuff about him. And I've seen other people doing the same thing that he does. I've seen expats that aren't vloggers do some of the stuff that this guy does. And it's scary when you walk up in a mall, say, around here. I've walked up in Das Marinas several times and walked up and said hey to some guy or whatever, and the guy looks at me and walks off. And I've had other people shake my hand, say, "Hey man, I watched your show," or whatever, great job, and some people are friendly. And I understand, and some expats think that all expats are just like these evil people that I'm talking about. And I understand why some expats don't talk to other expats. But remember, when you do that, you're also kicking out good people that are good people, and you're making it worse here, because now you're becoming one of the bad guys because you're treating everybody like they're bad. So this is producing, what this produces is it produces more bad expats here. And it's almost evil. It's almost to the point where it's evil sometimes, because I see this, not a lot. It's not that prevalent, but it's out there and it does happen. And it's kind of sick and scary when it does happen. But I see a lot of the good expats coming in here. The people that are doing the SRVs are generally the decent expats. I'm not going to put people down here, but I will say this. A lot of the people that come in on the tourist visas are generally the ones with a lot of more money issues. They don't want to do the SRVs, the retirement visas. They just don't want to do it. They'll pay the tourist visa and leave every 36 months, or they overstay their visa or whatever. We've seen that from several people here. And those tend to be the worst of the worst. Now, I'm not saying all people on tourist visas are bad. Don't get me wrong. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that some of them are. We get some good people over here on the SRRV visas, and they're great people, and they come in here. We've had a few problems with a few of them. Most of them are decent people. The ones on the tourist visas, though, tend to have the lower income, more financial issues, and they don't know that they can't believe that people have money to put up for the SRVs, like 1,500. They say that's too much for them or whatever, and some of them say they have to put down 10,000 or 20,000 because they weren't in the service or whatever. If you can't come up with $10,000 or $20,000 and you're in your 50s or 60s, where have you been for the past couple of decades? Because most people have saved some money by then. At least I did. I see people out there and they're coming over here and they don't have two nickels to rub together. And I don't think it's a good place to be, coming over here to the Philippines and not having enough money. But unfortunately, we have a lot of those too. That's another problem that we have over here with people. And they don't have any emergency money. They don't have any emergency money in the house when they run low. I don't think that's a good thing. I've seen a lot of people over here brag about how much money they have, and then they don't have it. When something happens, I've seen a guy. It's about 2 years ago. The guy was a friend of mine here. He has since left, and he used to hit me up for money about once every 3 months, and I just straight out told him no. But he hit me up for money a couple times, and I says no, I don't loan to expats. I never told anybody else about it, but it got kind of, and then finally, about the third or fourth time, I had to tell him, I says, look, I've told you this before, I don't loan money to expats. He's like, come on, man, I can really use the money. I'll pay you back next payday. I says, you already told me what you get every month. I says, the amount that you're asking is about 1/3 of what you get every month. And I says, you're going to pay me that at the beginning of the month, and you're going to be broke in about 2 more weeks. And that's why I wouldn't loan it to him. And actually, he was about 2 or 3 weeks later, if I recall correctly, somebody told me that he was asking them if he could borrow some money. That'll tell you something right there. A lot of the guys over here are not your best and brightest. Our group, though, we've had a lot of luck with people in our group. People in our group have been upstanding people. Most of them planned. They've got outstanding pensions or what have you. They've made it. They're successful. They're good people. They're good, upstanding people, and they don't feud and fight a lot. We've had our ups and downs with people feuding and fighting for sure. All groups do. I don't care if you're an Elks member or you're a member of the Masons or you're a member of some sort of group. There's always going to be some sort of arguments about something. Let's face it. And the biggest problem over here is fellow expats. It's not the Filipinas. It's the fellow expats. We have our problems with Filipinas too. Don't get me wrong. And some of that might be brought on by the fact that some of these guys are just trouble. Some of the problems might be the girls that are trouble. We have that here too. Asking for money all the time, or hitting them up for money, or haunting a guy to take her back to the United States or whatever. When you see that type of stuff, it's time to run, obviously. But the expat issues, I think, are the ones that bother most expats the most, because it's somebody from our own country. We come over here to escape that crap. So when you come over here and you try to get yourself weasel your way into a group or a group setting or a town, and a lot of guys come over here and they want to mix with the other expats, make sure that you're ready to mix in with that group and not be a burden to that group, or don't come. Don't come. If you're going to be a burden to the society over here that's already here, to the group that's already here. We all come over here to enjoy our lives, have barbecues together, to go swimming together, go have a few drinks together, or just, hang out together or whatever. And some of us like living near each other. Some of us don't. That's okay too. I come over here to get the best of both worlds. I want to have friendship, camaraderie, and peace. And my biggest issue over here is peace. When somebody bothers my peace, I'm bothered. When somebody bothers me by saying, passing around false rumors about me or what have you, that bothers me. It bothers my peace. When they talk about my family or my girlfriend or what have you, that takes away your peace. And it's the idiots that do stuff like that they need to go to another circus. They need to go back to the States or wherever they're welcome, because they're not welcome here in Asia. That's for sure. Anyway, guys, God bless. Take care. I know this was a little bit of a rant for me today, and it's kind of unusual, but I want to kind of get this off my chest, because a lot of guys are coming in here and they're bringing all that bad luggage, all that bad juju here, and they're letting it loose here. And we see it. We see it. Not that life is bad here or anything, but when we see stuff like that, it does take away from your happiness and your peace over here. Anyway, guys, God bless. Take care. I hope you enjoyed today's show.